William Gibson is a famous science fiction writer. He was born in the United States but later moved to Canada. He is often called the father of the cyberpunk genre. Cyberpunk is a type of science fiction that focuses on advanced technology and a dark, futuristic world. Gibson's stories often explore how technology affects society and human life. His most famous book is Neuromancer, which was published in 1984. This book changed the way people thought about the future and technology. Gibson's stories are set in a world where computers and the internet are very powerful. In his books, people can connect their minds to computers and enter virtual worlds. This idea was very new at the time. Today, many of the things Gibson wrote about seem real. For example, virtual reality and artificial intelligence are now part of our lives. Gibson's work has inspired many movies, video games, and other books. In Neuromancer, the main character is a hacker named Case. Hackers are people who use computers to break into systems or steal information. Case is very good at his job, but he makes a mistake and is punished. His ability to connect to the virtual world is taken away. This makes him very sad because he loves the virtual world more than the real one. One day, a mysterious man offers to help Case get his abilities back. In return, Case must complete a dangerous mission. The story is full of action, mystery, and interesting ideas about the future. Gibson's writing style is unique. He uses short sentences and describes things in a way that makes the reader feel like they are in the story. His characters are often outsiders or people who do not fit into society. They are usually trying to survive in a world that is unfair or dangerous. Gibson's stories also show how big companies and governments control people's lives. This is a common theme in cyberpunk stories. Another important book by Gibson is Pattern Recognition. This book is different from his earlier work because it is set in the present day, not the future. The main character is a woman named Case Pollard. She has a special ability to recognize patterns and trends. Companies hire her to find out what will be popular in the future. Case is also very sensitive to logos and brands. She cannot wear clothes with logos because they make her feel uncomfortable. The story follows Case as she tries to solve a mystery involving a series of strange video clips on the internet. The book explores themes like globalization, technology, and how people connect with each other in the modern world. Gibson's work is not just about technology. It is also about people and how they live in a world that is always changing. His characters often struggle with loneliness and the feeling of being disconnected from others. They are looking for meaning in a world that can seem cold and uncaring. Gibson's stories remind us that even in a world full of technology, human emotions and relationships are still important. One of the reasons Gibson's work is so popular is that it feels real. He writes about things that could happen in the future, but he also shows how these things affect ordinary people. His stories are not just about heroes saving the world. They are about people trying to find their place in a complicated and often confusing world. This makes his work relatable to many readers. Gibson's influence goes beyond books. His ideas have inspired movies like The Matrix and Blade Runner. These movies show a dark, futuristic world where technology is both helpful and dangerous. Video games like Cyberpunk 2077 also take inspiration from Gibson's work. The game is set in a city where people use technology to enhance their bodies and minds. It explores many of the same themes as Gibson's books, such as the power of corporations and the impact of technology on society. Even though Gibson's stories are often set in the future, they are really about the present. He uses science fiction to talk about real-world issues like inequality, pollution, and the power of big companies. His work makes readers think about how technology is changing our lives and what the future might look like. Gibson does not always give answers, but he asks important questions. This is one of the reasons his work is still relevant today. Gibson's writing has also changed over time. His early work is more focused on technology and the virtual world. Later, he started writing about the present and how technology is already part of our lives. This shift shows that Gibson is always thinking about the future and how it is connected to the present. He is not just a writer of science fiction. He is a thinker who uses his stories to explore big ideas. In addition to his novels, Gibson has written short stories and essays. He often writes about his thoughts on technology, culture, and the future. His essays are thoughtful and often make readers see things in a new way. Gibson is also active on social media, where he shares his ideas and interacts with fans. This makes him different from many other writers who prefer to stay private. William Gibson's work has had a big impact on science fiction and popular culture. His ideas about technology and the future have inspired many people. Even though his stories are often dark and complex, they are also full of hope. They show that even in a difficult world, people can find meaning and connection. Gibson's work reminds us that the future is not just about technology. It is about how we choose to live with it. In conclusion, William Gibson is a writer who has changed the way we think about the future. His stories are exciting, thought-provoking, and full of interesting ideas. Whether he is writing about hackers in a virtual world, or a woman trying to solve a mystery, Gibson's work always makes us think about the world we live in and the world we are creating. His influence can be seen in movies, video games, and other books. Gibson's work is not just for science fiction fans. It is for anyone who wants to understand how technology is shaping our lives.